What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of TEW Confrontational. My name is TEW Warkenthien. I'm here with my little brother, Evan Warkenthien. And today is Sunday, March 12th, and officially the kickoff of March Madness, Selection Sunday and everything. And what better way to start off March Madness with having the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. March himself, here with us today. We got Kyle Lyons here with us today, a true Jayhawks fan. We're excited to have him on. Pick at his brain, see what his knowledge is and everything for March Madness NCAA tournament. So without further ado, Kyle Lyons, everybody.
Let's go.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on. Super excited. Everyone who knows me knows this is my favorite 3 weeks of the entire year. I don't really think anything comes close. I know big football guys too as well, but just the drama, the feel, the fun, the looking at your screen while you're at work, you can't beat it. So
hell yeah, dude. I mean, everyone's gonna be watching fucking NCAA for the first 2 days.
Yeah, you know, people
all day, every day, 10 to 10. Like it's gonna be on all day. So we're excited for March Madness to kick off. We're excited to have Kyle Lyons on. So let's just jump right into it. We got Selection Sunday today. And so the brackets have been decided, and they have been, all the teams have been laid out, the 68 teams. And so action starts on March 14th with the first two playing games, and then the 15th, the second two, and then the tournament kicks off on March 16th. So we're excited for that. We have filled out a few of our brackets here, but yeah, we'll start with you, Evan. Who do you got kind of going, making it pretty decent in your bracket? Or
so we'll just go with my final four. I'm going with Alabama, K-State, Xavier, and Kansas. I do have Alabama versus Kansas in the championship, and I have Alabama winning that. And I think we have to do the tiebreaker, like I don't know if you have it comes down to points.
Correct score.
Correct score. So I got that. I got Bama winning 77-71 over Kansas.
Heck yeah, that's decent. That's a decent Final Four. Alabama's been on a roll. They just had a heck of a game today. They played pretty well today.
A team who just beat them last weekend, Texas A&M.
Yep. They're undefeated.
They took care of business today, but yeah, very, very talented. Shoot a ton of threes. Mm-hmm. If you guys are looking for guard play, threes, March, they fit the mold. So
right. And Brandon Miller, you wouldn't expect this from like a 6'9". He's shooting like 45% from the 3-point line. So I mean, yeah, even their guy that's usually attacking the basket and everything, he can pull up and shoot as well. So
yeah, he will be a lottery pick. He'll probably be a top 5 pick, and he will 100%. He'll dominate the league for a long time.
So is he the best player in the country, you think?
We got Victor Wembanyama overseas international.
I would say in college right now, if I'm taking anyone, I'm probably taking Brandon Miller.
Yeah.
He'll be a very good kind of 3-and-D guy in the NBA, but not necessarily he can score at all levels. So
right.
Interested to see where he ends up, and I think he'll have a lengthy career in the NBA.
What player in the NBA would you compare Brandon Miller to, or like kind of the traits and like the just the play style and everything like that? Is there anybody in the NBA that you can think of that would?
Gosh, I mean, he is like all 6'8". He's a lengthy wing. He shoots a lot better than a lot of those guys you maybe want to compare him to. If I had to think of someone off the top of my head real quick, there's not.
Does he play like a KD? Does he have like the dribbling ability?
That's a good start. Obviously not as tall, but yeah, he has the same. He can cross you up. He can hit you from 30. He can drive you to the lane. Yeah, right. That's a good comparison. I'm glad you brought that up.
A couple things here. Brandon Miller, what do you think of the controversy surrounding that? Do you think you probably know the gun and everything and this whole story like that, but he's still playing, and the other two players they're still sitting in jail.
Yeah, a really kind of weird situation. I know Matt, my brother, will be listening to this, and we have completely opposite views on this, but I don't know if he should. I don't know if the university took the necessary things to do to make sure that his name is fully cleared. Obviously wasn't his gun, wasn't his wrongdoing, but I don't know, just the affiliation of being there.
Right.
But maybe, all he was doing was trying to get his buddy his gun back.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't
affiliated.
Right.
He actually just spoke publicly for the first time about it this week. So, I mean, has not been charged with anything.
Right.
And I don't think anything will come of it. So
yeah,
I think he's going to move on. I mean, it's hard. It was capital murder.
Yeah, right. It's like something that's not
very serious. Yeah, Darius Miles probably going to go away to jail for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Right. It wasn't just like stealing a candy bar or anything. It was a very kind of violent offense, and so it's just kind of weird. Not weird, but like 2 people go away. He was involved, and then goes out, plays the night of or the next day, and drops 42.
Yep. I actually watched that South Carolina game. I actually bet on that game live. He hit a game winner. Yeah.
Right.
Played the best game of his year.
And that was right after, right?
Yeah, it was literally a couple days, if not 48 hours after they announced
That's crazy.
that.
I just think, like, kind of thinking about it, just like having that on your mind while you're playing. You know?
Yeah, and he seemed like he had, and maybe he knows he's innocent, and that maybe it's going to go through his head, but maybe it's not affecting him as much as the outside people looking in.
For sure.
His coach has been a huge contributor of defending him, and I mean, obviously, you want your head clear for the biggest 3 weeks of your college career. Nate Oates, their head coach, has also never been to a Final Four. So,
yeah, it's huge, and this is Alabama's first time ever in school history being rated number 1 in the March Madness
not only
tournament.
number 1, they're the number 1 overall seed. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you guys know this, if you are the number 1 overall seed, you get to pick your region. So Alabama obviously chose the South because they'll be closer to Louisville, or closer to home, based in Louisville rather than being in Kansas City or Vegas or New York City.
Right, so it's closer, more fans. Almost it's not home court advantage, but it almost kind of feels like home court advantage when you have those.
First 2 games will be in Birmingham, Alabama. So I mean, that'll be home court for sure. That part of the bracket's kind of interesting. They're either going to get Maryland or West Virginia. As you guys know, I'm a big Big 12 guy. I think West Virginia beats Maryland. And I think West Virginia is going to give Bama some fits, but
West Virginia's been playing well this year, especially as of late. And they have
and the conference I don't know if anyone's ever talked about it, but the Big 12 has been an absolute gauntlet this year. And I think all those teams are battle tested, and they're not afraid of anyone. So.
Is Baylor in the Big 12?
They are.
So you got Baylor, Texas, Kansas, and then you
got West Va, you got TCU who kicked our butts at home by 23. They're 6th seed in our region, actually. Kansas State, like you said, they got some guys that on every team that can go. So
Big 12 is a scary
I'm pretty Big 12 heavy fan as well as in my bracket.
Is there any like stats of like teams making it from each conference? Is like Big 12 usually like
the Big 10, 7? The Big 10 and the SEC led the way with 8.
Okay.
Big 12 had 7, they were second, but the Big 12 only has 10 schools, so 70% of your conference
making it to the NCAA.
And the first team out today was Oklahoma State, who is also in the Big 12. So nearly 80% of your conference in the tournament this year. So
that's pretty, that just described, gauntlet of a division or a conference. So
stacked.
And if people obviously know, remember, obviously I do, Kansas won last year, and the year before was actually Baylor. So back to back.
Right. And you're going for
out of the Big 12. So
3P, wouldn't be surprising. I think do you have Baylor going pretty far?
Let's take
you got them going to the Sweet 16, but I think
decently far, but
I think Ashley has Baylor making it to the championship and her
does she?
In her bracket. So
I got Texas coming out of their region. I have them beating Houston in the Elite 8.
Yeah, I mean Texas. I mean you saw the last 2 times that Kansas has played Texas, they've handled them pretty well. I mean it's been close. Like I think last night when they played, they were like tied at halftime or pretty decent at halftime.
5 or 6 point game, and
Texas just pulled away.
They have experienced guards. Marcus Carr is a name you're going to want to watch. Kid can absolutely light it up. But they're experienced. They have bigs. They have wings. They have guards. They can do it all. And I think they kind of roll through this region, to be honest. I don't see any real trouble for them until that Houston game. And that's if Houston gets there.
And Houston just lost. Granted, they're out Marcus
Sasser. Yep. They just announced actually that he is probable for their first game against Northern Kentucky.
I was going to say, I don't think he's going to be out too long. I think he's going to be back for the tournament. I think, what did they say? Was it an illness, an injury, just soreness?
No, it was a non-contact injury in the game. So
okay.
But they said he should be good to go. I mean, worst case, you sit that 16 seed game. You're not too worried about Northern Kentucky, but
exactly.
We've seen 16s beat one time before, so you never know.
Yeah, that was Duke like 3 years ago, wasn't it? When
it was UMBC in Virginia.
Oh, okay.
The Retrievers. Okay. Great college nickname. Beat Virginia in the first round.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see what you got, Ty. So I kind of went over my final four. Who do you have for your final four?
Right. So I haven't actually completed my bracket yet. But I've been saying this. I think I have Houston making it to the championship. Even though they did lose today, but I still think when they get Marcus Sasser back, he's one of the best players in the NCAA right now. So once they get him back, I mean, against Memphis, and Memphis isn't a bad team either. They have Davis and Williams that combine for 57 points a game, and when you're out, your best player, your star player, obviously that's going to have some impact. So once they get him back, I think they're going to pick up right where they left off when they didn't have him. I mean, they're 31-3 overall. So I mean, they've obviously been winning, and so I like Houston. I do like Bama with Brandon Miller and everything. Then I have Purdue coming out of the East. I like Purdue. I like is it Edey?
Yeah, Zach Edey. 7'3", big boy,
just a monster.
Probably going to win Player of the Year.
He's like a Yao Ming.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
So yeah, I like him, and they have some experienced guards too. They're pretty not veteran, but they're an older team, aren't they? Edey's been there for a few years.
Yeah, they've been there before.
Yeah, last year. Yeah.
Matt Painter, the head coach, like I told you guys earlier, has never been to a Final Four. So, do they have a great chance of doing it this year? Absolutely. But I actually do have them losing to Memphis in the second round. I
mean, yeah, and we saw Memphis today beat Houston. So I mean, and they looked awesome. Like, yeah, they looked really good. They looked like a fluent team. They knew who they were. Like, it was fun to watch Memphis play, especially against a talented team like Houston. And then I have Kansas coming out of the West, but they do have a tough kind of conference. They got UCLA and Gonzaga, and both of those. Yeah, and you were telling us, you can touch on this, but like Kansas did not want to be in the West. They wanted to be in the Midwest.
No, yeah, and to be honest, I think. I follow obviously a lot of Kansas stuff, and everyone's kind of melting down right now that Kansas is not going to be able to play in the Midwest and get Kansas City for their Sweet 16 Elite 8 games. Instead, you got to go play in UCLA's backyard, Gonzaga's backyard. Not ideal, but
I mean, and that's the nice thing.
You never know what's going to happen, but
and that's kind of the nice thing. What you play for throughout the season is getting that number one seed.
Yep, you work
that way you can choose where you want to play. And if Kansas would granted, they lost a couple close games towards the end of the season to Texas, but hey, they were still up there in number one contention. Or where do they rate, like, overall? Number 3?
Yep, they're the third number one overall seed, which is actually what they were last year too. So maybe some good vibes from the third number one overall seed.
Yep. Yeah, I like that. Who is it? Grady Dick. Yeah. I like him. He's a good shooter.
Yeah, Wilson's in contention or in talk to
he'll probably be second, third. Probably best player in the country.
Right.
Grady Dick, freshman, phenom. Yeah, Jalen's averaging 20 a game, so.
Yeah, 23. Was it 22 or something? I was looking up his stats.
Yeah, he's right around 20. Yeah. He had a pretty good Big 12 tournament, but just with that region, it's kind of I didn't want to see UConn, I didn't want to see UCLA, and I didn't want to see Gonzaga. And now that we have to go out west to play them, not ideal, but. Right. That's why you always play these games, tough games at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Makes it fun to watch, too.
It does. And who knows, we could be sitting here on Friday and VCU and Iona could be playing.
So, right. I mean, Iona is a pretty good team, too. I mean, obviously, they're not in contention with, not contention, but they don't have as tough as a schedule as, they
play in the lower conference, but...
Right. But still, great, solid team and stuff. So it's always fun to see. And every year, there's always a 12-5 upset or
if not worse.
Yeah, right. So Iona can definitely see Iona further in the tournament than you expected them to be. So who do you got, Kyle? Who are your top couple of teams? I mean, you don't have to say Final Four or anything, but who do you think is going to be making a headway into this tournament?
I mean, I've told my friends all year I've been a big believer in Arizona. I do have them in the championship against KU.
Yep.
I have them beating Bama in the Elite 8. I just think, Bama's never been there before. And Arizona's experience, they got length. They got dudes who can play. I got Duke actually in the Elite Eight playing Marquette, and I have Marquette coming out of that East region. I have KU over Gonzaga in the West, and then I have Texas over Houston to make it to the Final Four in the Midwest.
Oh yeah. Touching on Duke. Duke has been coming into the tournament hot.
Yeah, they just won the ACC tournament. Bunch of freshmen who are clicking all together at the right time.
Yeah,
so
Filipowski. I mean, they're on a 9-game winning streak headed into the tournament. So they start out the season 17-8. Went on a 9-game winning streak. John Shire's having an outstanding first year as a head coach.
He was under kind of some heat at the beginning of the year, but he's now the only person ever to win an ACC title and coaching one, and he's only 35.
And
that's impressive.
I think I don't want to mess this up, but I think he is the only coach in his first season to go 16-0 at home.
That is also correct.
I don't know if that's like throughout the NCAA history or just for Duke, but yeah, first season as head coach going 16-0 at home is pretty impressive.
Yeah,
so,
if you're a Duke fan right now, you're hoping you can kind of ride that wave of that win streak.
Yeah, and they actually get our Summit League foes out of Oklahoma and Oral Roberts. If people remember 2 years ago, Max A. Smith, who is still there, went to the Sweet 16. So no easy win there in the first game, but they whooped up on everyone here in the Summit League in Sioux Falls.
Right. Yeah, Oral Roberts, who you're referring to.
Yep, and they also got a dude 7'4" who can match up with those Duke big boys. So not necessarily.
It's not the easiest kind of first game you'd
not who I'd want to see.
And it is a 12-5. So
we see those upsets every year.
Majority of the time, it's usually a 12-5 upset that you see every year. You can bank on a 12-5 upset this year, I would imagine. St. Mary's and VCU, probably not. I like St. Mary's as a team.
I do too.
But then going up Miami and Drake, Miami's been playing well in the.
I really like Miami, actually.
And they gave Duke a good run for their money. Virginia didn't, though. I think.
No, I actually have. Yeah, Virginia's not really peaking at the right time. I have Virginia actually losing their first game to Furman. I don't know a lot of people who know about Furman basketball, but they are experienced. They actually play the same slow defensive kind of game that Virginia does. And we've seen Virginia lose in first round games before, so that is my Kyle Lyons upset of the tournament.
There we go.
Hell yeah, everybody jot that down. Put some money on it.
Yep. Take Furman spread, whatever it is. I'm sure we'll get some numbers later tonight, but that's my one.
Hell yeah, there's gonna be a lot of money to be had or made here in NCAA. This is probably one of the biggest times where sports gambling is going on. So I mean, there's gonna be a lot of money to be made, and we'll kind of run through like our picks, like our upsets, like you just said, Furman over Virginia. That's probably got to be, if you're betting on the money line, probably a plus 350.
Yeah, probably around there. It might be closer than what people expect. But another one I like to kind of counter Evan, but I like the Montana State Kansas State game is intriguing to me. I watched them play their conference tournament. Kansas State's very good, but I'm just saying it could be a possible.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Kansas State is good, but I watched Montana State play a few weeks ago, and they have a pretty solid squad, and they play well together as a team. So I'm excited to kind of see some of these matchups. I was looking at this Louisiana.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. I heard the guys on CBS today talk about they like Louisiana to beat Tennessee. I, for one, do not know a ton about Louisiana. Tennessee just lost one of their starters, but I think they get through Louisiana and end up losing to Duke.
Yeah, I mean, but injuries suck this time of the year. I mean, you lose your big guys and players that play a
Houston
huge role.
dealt with injuries this weekend. Kansas did.
Yep.
Tennessee has in the last couple of weeks.
Right, and hopefully they get them out before the tournament starts. And I think that's kind of some of the reasons why you see some of these people sitting out. They just want to get a week or two of rest and recovery because they know they're making it to tournament. So why not just sit out a couple games and be fresh legs when the ball is thrown into the air? So.
But to finish up my bracket, I have KU repeating over Arizona in the championship on Monday, April 3rd. So
that'd be fun.
That would be fun. Obviously, it's very hard to win this tournament, especially with the teams this year. I think there's more parity now than ever. But we'll see. That's what the games are played for.
And this is, they call it March Madness for a reason, because there is a lot of stuff that goes down during these few weeks here. So we're excited to fill out our brackets, get our brackets filled out, and
let the madness begin.
Yep. Speaking of brackets, everyone that hasn't joined our NCAA tournament challenge, we'll put the link in the description. Join that. We have until Thursday by like 9 or 10 a.m. to get those filled out before the first game tips off.
When is the first game? Is it the first game 11?
Yes, I can pull it up on my phone, but it's usually around 11:10.
Okay. Right.
So yeah, Thursday morning.
But right. Thursday morning. Yep. Just get your brackets filled out and all that good stuff. So.
Yeah. So I do have a question for
11:15 a.m.
11:15.
11:15.
First game, West Virginia, Maryland. So.
Yeah, I do have a question for you, Kyle. So you said obviously you're a huge KU fan. And have you been to games?
Yep, I have been to Allen Fieldhouse 5 times, and I've been to 2 tournament games back in 2012 when they played in Omaha. I've been lucky enough to not see them lose 6-0 as an observer.
Hey, don't jinx that.
That's rare.
That is rare. I went 2 weeks ago now when they played Texas Tech on senior night. Very close game, but ended up coming out with the dub. So
I kind of mentioned earlier how crazy the atmosphere is. Just seeing it on TV, how loud it is, how rocking it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who, statistically, it's the greatest home court advantage of all time. Greatest student section in the world. They actually set the Guinness World Record for loudest arena.
Yeah,
it's something that you can't really see. You can see it on TV, but once you're there, it's special. And I know my brother's been there. Devin O'Brien went to school there for a semester. He's gone to a couple games.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, the history, the original rules of basketball, creator of basketball, originates in Lawrence, Kansas. So
did not know that.
Yeah, so we don't have basketball without KU. So
hell yeah. How long do you think did Bill Supp just retire or announce his retirement after this season?
No, he actually had some heart issues.
He's in the hospital right now, right?
Yes, he just got released today. He actually had a couple stents put in for a couple clogged arteries. So,
well, that's good news.
Expect him back for Thursday.
Right. I was looking at this stat, or I heard a stat. He is the only coach like in NCAA history to make it to 17 out of the 20 Big 12 championships. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, 17 out of 20 years he's done it, and he also won 14 in a row. So
that is nuts.
That is hell of a coach. Very, very spoiled as a KU fan.
Yeah, I did
have
a
coach. And
I saw something. We were kind of going through that. Kind of good coaches. Tom Izzo. He was Michigan State coach, most consecutive men's basketball tournament appearances all time. 25, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, Michigan State made it this year, didn't they?
They did. They're 7th seed. Where are they at?
They always make the damn tournament.
7th seed out east. They're going to get USC in their first game, who I like USC a lot in that game.
Yeah, USC's been balling out. USC's good. Good in football, too, with Caleb Williams and everything like that.
Yeah, it'll be an exciting year for them again next year.
Mm-hmm. But going back on, I was about to switch topics. I wanted to ask you something here. Draymond Green. Speaking of Tom Izzo, Michigan State, Spartans. Do you see the controversy with Draymond Green and Dillon Brooks?
I didn't see enough of it to really comment on it, but I know Dillon Brooks talks a lot.
He does.
Throw up a lot of bricks.
The whole Grizzlies team talks a lot, but he does.
Not worried about going through anyone in the West, apparently, and they're going to get to the finals, but... Draymond, that's part of his game too.
Yeah,
so
for sure. Yeah,
I'll give Draymond the edge here. He's got the rings, he's got the experience, and he's the better player right now overall, the better team. So,
and he's been in the league for past 10 years. He has veterans that he has the accolades. I don't know why Dillon Brooks brought it up, but he said that Memphis was a dynasty, and I give it to them. They're a good team. They've made it to.
Yeah, they're young. They have the potential to absolutely put something together. But I mean,
to talk.
He's always talking that smack.
But he's the same exact thing as Draymond Green. Like the kind of role that Draymond Green plays on the Warriors, he kind of plays that role on Memphis. So I kind of think, I don't know if he's like not jealous, but he just thinks like that's who he has to go after to like kind of get the respect that he does. I don't know. I think that's how.
I think that's part kind of who they are. They want to go out and talk their talk, but I mean, at the end of the day, winning games earns you the right to talk. Anyway. That
backs it up.
You big on NBA and everything, like playoffs coming up in the next few weeks.
I will get into it more once March Madness is over.
Right.
I'm bummed to see LeBron go out in their biggest stretch of the season.
LeBron,
Me too.
KD.
KD's hurt. Obviously just made his debut for the Suns, but yeah, I mean, I'll get into it here in a couple weeks, but I mean, the Celtics look great this year.
Right.
I think the Celtics Bucks, I think, is almost a lock for the Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh yeah.
In the West, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the Suns, but the Suns are, I think, a top 4 seed right now.
Suns, I think Suns are 4th. And Devin Booker's been playing out of his mind. Sucks that KD went down.
Unfortunately,
it was in warm-ups too. It wasn't even during the. It was like warm-ups before a game. He just did a reverse pivot.
It looked like he slipped or something.
KD and they both were pregame injuries, so I don't know.
Back in the day, like Shaq and Charles Barkley, I was listening to TNT, and they said they never even went out and warmed up. Like,
no.
That's where they had the layup lines. Like, that's warm up. Like, that's where
that was their warm up.
Yeah, right. So,
and I don't know, the whole thing with load management too. I know a lot of those older guys are upset about players missing games, and I have to agree with them. You get these fans who maybe get one night to go watch their favorite team play,
spend $100-$200 on a ticket and don't even get to see.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing that Kobe
so.
always said too, is why he played through injuries, is because some families out there spending their paycheck to come watch you.
Well, look at Michael Jordan. I think he played in 82 consecutive games for like 5 seasons straight, and I think he missed one game. He played 81 games in that stretch of 7-8 years where he played every single game except for one.
That's crazy stat.
And, especially in the NBA. I mean, the running, the jumping, to not have anything happen to you for 82 straight games.
Nights, like
travel, you're going across time zones. Yeah,
it's insane.
A physical league. The old heads like to say that and don't want to offend anyone, but
but
more physical. Different style of game played than
it's
it is
bigger,
today.
faster, stronger. People say it was more physical back then, but it is bigger, fast, and stronger. Like the game's speed.
Now today we're seeing a lot more skill. These guys. I mean, Victor Wembanyama's 95 feet tall and he's shooting from 30 feet.
So that's crazy.
And his handles
and KD we thought was a superhuman. I don't know if Wembanyama will turn out to be a KD, or if better, but I mean, that's the way the game's going.
Yeah. I mean,
Brandon Miller, 6'9", play point guard, could play guard, or shooting guard, wing, whatever you want him to do.
Right. Everything's bigger, faster. It's just nuts. But yeah, speaking of speed, AR-15 Anthony Richardson for Florida Gators ran like a 4.39 or 4.4 something.
Some of the best combine stats of all time when you put together his complete broad jump
as a 40. Well, even Stetson Bennett. Did you see he's like the 4th fastest quarterback?
I don't know if you guys watched his 40, history. But it looked like he was almost jogging. But it's too smooth. But I mean, the guy's 28 years old. But
I know he's older than college. He's older than half the quarterbacks in the NFL right now. So. But yeah, maybe he will find a spot on a team at least as a backup. I mean,
I mean, you don't have to win 2 natties by accident. So I don't know if he's necessarily NFL caliber talent, but
definitely a student of the game though.
Yeah,
definitely has experience. He's been in college for 7, 8, 10 years.
Yeah.
So I mean, he definitely has the experience where he knows what he's doing and stuff. So he wouldn't be a bad backup or anybody to be like a quarterback challenge for Baker Mayfield or something, like get him on the same team and just challenge because I heard Baker Mayfield might be going to like Tampa Bay or something.
I did read that today. So I did see also Jalen Ramsey is heading to the Dolphins.
Miami.
Yep.
That's pretty fucking sweet.
That happened a few days
Apparently
ago.
The league calendar starts on Wednesday. And I don't know if you guys saw, Aaron Rodgers had his charity event today, and he announced his decision will be, quote, very soon. So
I heard that everything is...
I know Evan's a Packers fan. Are you a Packers fan?
He's
Vikings.
Okay. So as a Packers fan, I think you can give your input, but I watched the interview. I saw him smile a couple bit. I think he's gone.
I think he is too. I think it's either he's retiring or going to New York. I don't think there's a chance, especially with all this going on, that he's able to even return to Green Bay. So
and you got the GM breathing down his throat saying he needs to make a decision, which I don't necessarily disagree with. I mean, pregame and playing for next year has already started. So and you want your leader there. So
and he has done this a couple of years.
This is an ongoing thing.
Yeah,
so.
and all my buddies know I love Aaron Rodgers, but yeah, he's always been a drama queen. He's gonna make it about him, but we'll see where he goes. I think personally to go to the Jets would be kind of dumb. I think the AFC is absolutely
that's what I was
loaded.
saying. Yeah.
You have Josh Allen for the next 10 years, 15 years. You have Joe Burrow. You have Patrick Mahomes, obviously. It's going to stay in the NFC, where the NFC North is really not great.
No.
the Lions are currently the betting favorites to win next year. So I don't know why you don't come back to your home. Aaron Jones just restructured his deal to take less money. See Christian Watson take the next step. But, maybe he wants to try one thing for one more year and get it done.
And it kind of seems like he's following, like taking that, Brett Favre approach. Like he's doing the same exact thing. I know maybe a little bit different scenarios, but going to the same team if he does end up going to the Jets, which is, I don't know.
Right. I mean, you got the Jets, though. I mean,
they got a solid defense. I do like Mo Salah as their coach. Too. Yeah, Garrett Wilson.
Elijah Moore.
Yep.
They got
a bunch of dudes.
Breece Hall, that was out half the season, but he was averaging like 120 yards a game.
On pace to win Rookie of the Year.
Right.
Offensive Rookie of the Year.
So they do have a young team. Sauce Gardner on defense. He's been recruiting Aaron Rodgers. He's been recruiting OBJ. Just imagine getting OBJ,
Adam
Garrett Wilson.
Adam Thielen on the free market agent.
And I heard
free agent now.
I heard Aaron Rodgers and Adam Thielen are pretty close, good buddies. So it's gonna be an exciting year for that.
But
NFL
even if you go, you still have to go through Josh Allen in that division. You have Tua when he's healthy. That Dolphins team's pretty good, and then you get a Patriots team who's I don't care who they are.
They're always going to go 500.
But they're under Bill Belichick. They're not going to be a walkover.
No, right.
So you're just thinking maybe at best you beat each one of those teams once. I don't think you're sweeping anyone in that division.
I don't think you're sweeping anyone, but I still see like a 13-4 record out of the Jets if Aaron Rodgers does go there. Their defense and their offense.
I don't either. I see 9-8.
You like
10-7.
Do you like the coach over there though?
I do like Mo Salah a lot, but I don't think they're very young, especially their skill players. Defense is really good, but it's the AFC. It's too stacked. Right?
It's tough. And my thing is what is he going to be there? 1-2 years? It might take him a year to get comfortable with those those young players. He already had an issue in Green Bay when he was playing with a bunch of young receivers this year.
Right, but I think the talent over in New York is a little bit better than the talent they had on offense this year. Besides Aaron Jones and Watson. Maybe Watson at the end of the year, last 6 games.
It definitely took Christian some time to get going. It did, but once he did,
the first pass of the year from Aaron Rodgers to Christian. First pass of the Packers.
Sitting at my buddy Ben's house watching that.
60-yard bomb right through his fingertips.
About that for the week. So no, I think his best bet's to stay in Green Bay if he wants a chance. You look at the NFC right now.
Do you
got the Eagles?
Do you think the Packers have a chance to make it to the NFC Championship or out of the way the Vikings are restructuring?
I don't necessarily think they would make it.
The
but
Lions,
he's got a better chance.
You got the Lions, the Bears, and the Vikings in the NFC. I know they haven't been good. The NFC North hasn't been good in a while, but Packers have won.
They're
usually first 14 out of the last 17 years and at number one in the NFC North, so they're used to that. But hey, Lions. Last 2 years, the last 2 years ago, the second half of the season, when they started turning it on, they won 7 out of their last 8 games. And then this year they go, 9-10
9-8 or 8-9, I think.
Right.
I think they finished 9-8 when they beat Green Bay and Lambeau in Week 17.
Yeah, and that was a huge game too because that was kind of to make it.
It didn't affect them at all. The Packers needed to win that game.
The Packers were all or nothing.
Right. If they would have won that game,
the Lions were eliminated half hour before that game started.
So if they would have won that game, they would have made the wild card.
As a Packers fan, another disappointing ending to a season.
And and we talked about this on the last couple podcasts, but Aaron Rodgers, yes. 4 MVPs, but only one Super Bowl to back it up.
And it's been 12 years or whatever.
It's been 13 years. It's been too long.
So as a Packers fan, are you ready to kind of be hey, thank you for your service?
Yeah.
But then
it's been kind of a flip flop the past year or two. So we move on to the Jordan Love era, see how it rolls with. The Packers are never extremely aggressive in free agency or in drafting.
No.
That Jordan Love pick was a reach. I don't know. Maybe he turns out and the Packers get 3 great quarterbacks in a row. I don't know. Yeah. Jordan Love played some quality snaps last year.
We saw a glimpse of Jordan Love.
He had the talent and the raw talent, especially. He can run, he can throw, he can do it all, but it takes time in the NFL.
When was he drafted? 4 years ago?
He was drafted in 2020. So this will be
his third or fourth,
So this will be his 4th year, I think.
Going into his 4th year, and he's maybe played.
He was young when he was drafted. I think he's 20 or 21. So
but sitting behind, I know you always hear sitting behind a legend kind of getting used to the game speed. You get the reps in practice. You get this preseason. I know it's not NFL game speed and everything like that, but then he goes in and plays against Kansas, put up a good fight against Kansas City a couple of years ago.
I think that was I think 13-7. That was a dog shit game.
And then it was a really weird. I don't know if you guys watched too, but Jordan Love's parents actually got stuck on the last row of the stadium that game.
That's rough. I did see like some pictures on Twitter.
It felt bad. Jordan didn't play great, but the Packers competed. But we're gonna have to see a full season of Jordan Love.
And that was a couple years ago against Kansas City when he actually played like a full game. But then this year he comes in like the fourth quarter and throws a slant to Christian Watson for like a 65-yard touchdown, and that was like his first throw of the game.
Yeah, I think he's got the tools. It's just you got to put it together, and you got to have a couple years under your belt. But
reps help. So like once he actually, if this trade does go down, if Aaron Rodgers goes to the Jets, if Jordan Love is the starting quarterback for the Packers, you'll see it. I bet you halfway through the season, you'll be like, "Oh shoot, you better watch out for the Packers." If they're sitting at 6-4 halfway through the season, you'll be like, "Uh-oh, they're actually starting to pick it up now." And I mean, like this year too, I was scared of the Packers after they went on that like
they went on a 4 or 5 game win streak. They went and beat Miami on the road, and
so I was scared to see the Packers make it to the wild card, and if they did, because they lost the Lions, but if they would have made the wild card, I was scared.
Yeah, for sure.
But Evan, I want to get your opinion. If we do end up putting that trade through, what do you want in return? I don't really know. I'm not big with the whole what's fair value and what's not. I did see obviously the Bears-Panthers trade, but I don't know what you would want. He's 39.
What pick do the Jets have? They have 11th or 13th or
somewhere around there. Yeah, they didn't.
I think it's
finish
and then the Packers have the 15th too.
Yep.
Yeah, they're pretty similar pick wise.
It'd be nice. I don't think we're gonna get their first round pick. Obviously, I don't think it's gonna happen. I think maybe early second round. Yeah. And then obviously a conditional pick or whatever.
Yeah, I bet you there will be a conditional pick like towards the end of the say he plays, because they had it on Carson Wentz too when Carson Wentz got traded. Like if he plays more than 8 games, then they have to pay them something else in return. But if he doesn't, then they don't have to do anything. That's a lot of the GM side
stuff that I personally don't know a ton about. Yeah. But if I'm a Packers fan, I mean, if you get a couple second round picks and maybe some cash considerations, I mean,
for sure,
and it frees you guys up of like $50 million in cap space. So
Aaron Jones just restructured his contract as well to come back. So I think backfield returning. Hopefully Christian Watson takes the next step.
I mean, you had one of the most dynamic two-headed. I mean, you used to be like Zeke and Tony Pollard, but Zeke hasn't been showing up. But so you got Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon is a monster two-headed backfield. What are the other two-headed backfields besides like Zeke and Tony? You got
the Eagles ran a 3 running back system. They ran Gainwell, they ran Miles Sanders, and they ran Bart Scott.
And that's tough because
but then you had Jalen Hurts who could run too. So I don't know. They're definitely up there for sure.
Yep. But let's see. It's gonna be an exciting year for the NFL and everything.
Yeah, for sure it will be. I still just going back on. I think that best situation for Rodgers is to be in Green Bay. I don't think you could pick like him going to the Jets is not gonna. If he's trying to win that ring or whatever, I don't know. I think just staying in Green Bay is the best option for him if he wants to win.
Right. Yeah, I don't think it's close, to be honest.
No.
But we'll see. It makes NFL free agency probably one of my favorites out there with the NBA free agency. But hopefully some big news. Hopefully we get some big trades. Draft is actually down in Kansas City this year.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Which is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. But a lot of off-season moves that we're hoping to see here happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it's coming sooner because they have to meet cap by the 15th on Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Yep. So they have to get under cap. So you're gonna see a lot of cuts, a lot of restructuring of contracts and everything like that. One thing we've been talking about, and everyone's been talking about, Lamar Jackson, him not getting signed, to getting the unexclusive franchise tag and everything, seeing what teams are interested. Actually, the teams that aren't interested, that came out right away when that news was announced that he got franchise tagged. 5 teams came out right away and said, no, we don't want anything to do with this. And they're the teams that need quarterbacks, like Carolina. I guess not Carolina anymore.
If you guys look at that whole NFC South right now, it's a mess.
Right. You got
the Bucs got nothing. I mean,
and
the Falcons, Mariota and Ritter.
No, Mariota got released.
He did.
Yeah. Okay. So they just got Desmond Ritter. So I don't think Falcons are gonna. go with Desmond Ridder.
Panthers just traded for the number 1 overall pick, so they're going quarterback.
Yep.
And then you have the Saints, who just signed Derek Carr, which I think Derek Carr is the middest quarterback of all time.
Right, but right behind
he can
Kirk
play.
Cousins. But like,
he can play. He might be able to win that division just because it's so bad. But
right, but you see, like, he's still like a pretty. Devontae Adams had the same stats when he was on the Packers than he was on with the Raiders.
Yeah, Derek Carr can play. I just don't think he's ever going to win you anything.
I know.
No, I don't see that
tough.
either.
It's tough. But then you got Michael Thomas. You got Chris Olave.
But Michael Thomas has been hurt, the last 2 years, 3 years?
But he did make an appearance last year for the first 5 games, and then he had a turf toe or something. But he balled out. Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave balled out last year. You got Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill plays every position on the field.
But who's their tight end that goes off for a touchdown every other game?
I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I picked him up in fantasy, but yeah, every other game he at least had 50 yards and a touchdown, so easy 15 points. But yeah, besides the point, I do like the way the Bears have played that trade. We
talked about it before we started, but I think the Bears got absolutely everything they could have out of that.
Carolina, I think, got kind of
screwed. Yeah, Carolina picks the right quarterback, becomes a Hall of Famer. We won't talk about it, but right, that's a chance. What do you guys think? Who do you want taken? If you're the GM and you need a quarterback, who are you taking this year?
So if you're the Panthers, I mean, this is kind of a hot take right here, but you got when you drafted Cam Newton out of Auburn, you go and win he wins
gets you to a Super Bowl,
and then takes you to a Super Bowl. Did they win the Super Bowl?
No, right? They ended up losing, but to the Broncos, Peyton's last year.
They take him to this. Cam Newton takes him to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Anthony Richardson built just
very
like
similar,
Cam Newton.
Very similar.
Runs faster than Cam Newton. Kind of the same scheme. I don't know how the coaching is, like if it is a new coach or how that scheme was set up, but it's basically the same quarterback that took you to the Super Bowl. So
that's your guy.
I like
AR-15.
I like. I mean, it's always risky because you got like Lamar Jackson. He dropped to the 32nd pick because everyone thought he was a running back, not a quarterback. Mm-hmm. But then you go see, and then now he's won MVP his rookie year. Still just a dog, and now everyone's fighting over him. And so
it'll be interesting to see who matches, or if the Ravens match any offers that they end up getting for him. Joe, where do you guys want to see him end up? Do you want to see him stay in Baltimore? I like
Atlanta.
Yeah, I like Atlanta, and I like
maybe Houston.
They have a lot of cap. I don't know.
The Houston. That's been rough.
They just signed Robert Woods. Okay. He was the Rams, and he was Titans, and now
I was interested to see where he was going. I did not know that.
Yeah, he's with the Texans now, so maybe they are. I mean, Houston has the 4th pick, or something like that. So I mean, Indy has the 4th, but I think Houston might have the 3rd. But they're right there for a quarterback too. I mean, there's 5, 6, 7 quarterbacks that can easily go.
This is kind of the year. You got Stroud, you got Young, you got Levis, you got Richardson.
Yeah, I like Will Levis.
I mean, you can go a lot of different ways. And what do you guys think? One of those usually pans out? 2 at the most?
Yeah,
I mean, maybe you get one average starter, maybe one stud. So
you'll get one. I mean, I bet you'll get 2 studs first year, and then one of those studs is going to have a sophomore slump kind of fall off.
Sure.
And then that one guy is just going to be the next, kind of sitting behind a couple quarterbacks. You won't see him for a couple of years.
Maybe gets released down the line. You don't really know. The NFL draft is fun.
But you definitely want to be in the first round. You get like $1 million signing bonus for being in the first.
It's a huge difference between like going from
first and second round.
No, but I like you were mentioning. I like Will Levis. He played at Kentucky, right?
Yep, he did. He played injured all year. Cannon of an arm.
Huge arm.
I don't know. He's kind of more of a pro style versus all these other guys are kind of
more of a pocket, but he can run too. I mean, he's kind of like a
Josh Allen.
Kind of, I would say maybe a little bit. He has a cannon of arm. Josh Allen has a cannon. I don't know if he's quite as athletic as Josh Allen. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't watch a ton of Kentucky this year. I know he played hurt with his shoulder, but yeah, he's kind of the only pro style quarterback that I would draft in the first round. Those guys are run pass option guys, and
that is the way the kind of league is kind of turning into.
Yeah, you look at Jalen Hurts and their success, and I mean, why can't Bryce Young do that? Why can't CJ Stroud do that? Why can't Anthony Richardson do that? So I mean, you can go a lot of different ways,
right? And there's a lot of teams out there that need quarterbacks, so it's going to be interesting draft night, interesting trades. Yeah, we have until like July 15th until every team needs to be kind of finalized before the season starts, before training camp starts and everything. So
yeah, down to their 53 or whatever. Is that what they have to be down to?
I think by July
50 is a 53 man roster.
Yeah. By like July 15th or something like that. So it's going to be fun to see. So yeah, I mean, I know we touched on we haven't touched on this, but we're going to touch on PGA and everything. Scotty Scheffler just won his second PGA event this year. He's already made cool $5 million in the first 3 weeks, 4 weeks of golf season kicking off. So
iconic 17th hole. 3 hole-in-ones this week.
So that's crazy.
And a couple 8s and 9s, but 3 hole-in-ones is pretty insane.
A few 8s and 9s, yeah. But no, there's been 13 hole-in-ones on hole number 17
all time
since 1986.
Okay, we got 3 this weekend,
and 3 of them were in 2023.
I don't know if you guys were watching yesterday or the day before. Some pretty crappy conditions out there. So
rain and they had to shut it down.
There's a rain delay, wasn't there?
Yeah, rain and wind. So
yeah, they had to finish the second round on Saturday. Yeah, and then finish the third round on Saturday. So it was a lot of golf.
On the topic of golf, Saturday. Obviously we have the Masters coming up. Who's your guys' pick?
I mean, Scotty Scheffler's been playing well. He's hard to always count out.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to pick those Scheffler, Rahm.
I like Rahm.
Yeah, I mean, they're number ones in the world for a reason.
Yeah, Justin Thomas.
I do like coming up. He's out of England, I believe. Victor Hovland. His iron game is phenomenal. I'm a huge fan of Victor Hovland. I think he's going to make a lot of impact. This is like his 3rd year in the PGA, so I think once he hits his 5th year, he's going to win. Once he figures out like his putting and driving are good. They're just inconsistent. So it's like he'll be driving 350 right down the middle one day, and the next day he'll drive 350, but to the right 40 yards. You know what I mean? So, but his iron play is outstanding. Victor Hovland.
Obviously, we had Will Zalatoris last year, who finished 2nd in 2 majors and top 5, top 10 in all 4 of them. Maybe he makes the jump this year. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I watched him. I watched him play this year. This weekend. Didn't do crazy good, but he made the cut and everything. So he's always a competitor and everything like that. So
it always amazes me. That guy looks like a twig.
Yeah, and he drives the ball fucking 320 yards, so it's kind of nuts.
Hopefully we'll get to see our boy Tiger healthy.
Yes, that's what I'm hoping for too.
I just want to see him make the cut.
Yeah,
maybe make a little noise on a day or two. I don't obviously expect him to even probably get top 10, top 20, but
not
make
anymore,
the cut.
Hey, he does love that course though.
He does, and he knows it probably better than anyone who's going to be playing out there.
For sure.
Yep.
Use that to his advantage for sure.
It kind of sucks. I know it's kind of getting out, but Live Golf kind of took away
a lot of good golfers.
I mean, I love watching.
I was sad to see Cam Smith go.
Cam Smith
on the rise,
and then you got Phil Mickelson. I mean, I always loved watching him play. Like this side of you turn it on like a Sunday afternoon. First thing you see is Phil Mickelson out of the sand, and he flops it in and puts it within a foot. So
those Sundays after your nap and you wake up and there's 2 guys going out with 3 holes to go is always fun.
Yeah.
But I just think those Live guys. I mean, they kind of took the rivalry out. I mean, obviously they want to start a new rivalry now, but the PGA Tour gave you your start, gave you everything, and then you just leave. I don't know. Right. I'm not a fan of Live at all.
I'm not either. They just got paid really well, didn't they? Is that the reason why?
It's $400 million.
It's oil money from the Saudis. I mean, it's not like it's. But granted, I mean, it's life-changing money. It's generational wealth, so you can't hate guys for that. But the competition side, it bothers me.
Oh yeah, it definitely takes away too.
Yeah, and you don't get to see those
3-day tournaments.
Right, you don't get to see those big names in the PGA and stuff like that. But
no ban this year too. That was talked about possibly banning Live tours on the majors.
Really?
Yep. Okay. So, but no, they'll be there for the Masters.
Oh yeah. Okay. But yeah, just saying. I mean, $400 million guaranteed for players that maybe win 1 or 2 major or 2 championships.
Yeah. To go to that money, it's hard to turn down.
Right, and in the back of your head, you're like, what if I never win again? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And this is their living. This is what they live on. So
if I throw my back out next week and my swing's never the same.
Yeah, exactly.
If they're on the Live, you're still getting that money.
Yep.
In the PGA, you have to win to get your money. So it's tough. And have you seen that Full Swing documentary?
I haven't.
On Netflix?
I plan on starting it once again after March Madness. So
you gotta wait till
March
Madness is over.
Watch that. It's interesting. It goes into details of like all the top names. You see Scotty Scheffler, you see Justin Thomas, you see Jordan Spieth, you see all
those guys are good friends.
Yeah, you see all those guys, and just it goes through their daily life, their training routine. It's literally a 365-day job.
Yeah,
like you don't get a break. You don't. Like,
the travel would be insane. And never with your family. Right.
Yeah,
your family comes obviously, but I mean, you win a tournament on Sunday, you're flying to wherever the next tournament is on Monday.
3 days. Yeah. Because you get 2 starts on Thursday.
Yeah.
And like if you can't make it out, you get there on Tuesday. You have Tuesday when you get there, and Wednesday to get a round in or try to, and then
you're off on Thursday morning at 8 a.m.
It's a grind. It's just a grind is exactly right. So PGA. You into boxing at all?
I'm not. I did watch boxing or UFC.
Either combat sports.
Definitely more of a UFC guy.
Right.
Me too.
It was good to see John Bones come back. Take care of business. That was a little too easy.
That was fun to watch. I mean, it wasn't fun to watch.
It kind of looked like I don't know. It was just so quick. I was hoping for like a long fight, like a brutal fight, but it was done so quick in like 2.5 minutes.
3 years after not having any action in the ring.
Yeah, shout out our buddy Corey Lindquist told me Cyril Gahn was the UFC lock of the year. Did not bet it, but I did. He did, but
hell yeah,
you don't doubt the GOAT.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is tough probably when you're thinking 3 years from not fighting anybody in the UFC. You're definitely going to lose.
I saw him at the weigh-in. I'm like, this guy's kind of chubby.
Yeah,
right. He had to go up 43 pounds to fight.
And he did. Yeah,
he made quick work.
He for sure did. I mean, I thought that was fun to watch. And then
boxing,
also
you mentioned something about boxing, didn't you?
Yeah. Earlier. So Ryan Garcia. You know, have you heard of Ryan Garcia? That little he's like 19. He's just like an outstanding
he's from
boxer,
like Mexico
like a
City
prodigy.
or something like that.
Yeah. So Ryan Garcia is fighting Javante Davis next weekend. No, April 22nd.
Yeah,
April 22nd, so like a month away. But yeah, April 22nd they fight, and so that's going to be a big fight. Both undefeated. I think their combined record is like 59-0. Javante Davis is like 28-0, and then
Garcia
is like 25-0 or something like that.
I see those at the bars, obviously on a Saturday night, but I'm not. I don't know enough to comment on boxing. Right. Obviously, I watched the Jake Paul Tommy Fury fight. I don't know if you guys watched that.
Yeah,
it was pretty entertaining.
Yeah. We're not like we don't tune in every Saturday to watch boxing or anything. But when those big names, when those big names come out, we'll like, hey, we should probably buy this pay per view. We'll watch Rough and Rowdy.
That's always a good time. Me and my buddies watch that, drink some beers on Friday night, watch a bunch of average Joes go at it.
And it's cheap too.
Not necessarily average Joes either. Adam Pac-Man Joes was on there a couple times.
Pac-Man was on there.
Bro.
You guys ever seen a guy fight in jeans?
No,
that's pretty hilarious.
But and then I liked how they used to go on like Instagram before the fight. They probably still do this, but I don't see it as much. But they go on Instagram and talk shit. Before, and then that's so funny.
Big Barstool fan.
Huge
Caleb Presley. I don't know. Does he still do interviews with us?
Yeah, Sunday
Conversation.
But like at Rough and Rowdy.
As far as like the being
post
or
pre, because I know he was big. Obviously, Sunday Conversation, it's phenomenal. I don't know if people watch
Hilarious.
that. Theo Vaughn episode, great.
Yeah,
there was two together.
He's like, don't say it like that.
Those two together.
Theo Vaughn.
But it's funny.
Back to your question, I don't think that he does do because there was a Rough and Rowdy last weekend.
Yep, I wasn't able to watch that one.
And Caleb wasn't doing like the interviewing.
He's gotten pretty big with Barstool now, and they kept doing some main events.
Glenny Balls too.
Glenny Balls. Yeah,
those guys are great.
Sex talking like with all the fans and porn stars. And it's Glenny Balls, dude. It's
a perfect fit. They do a lot of things well at that company, and there's a reason they've gotten so big.
And the sports gambling aspect just got legalized in Massachusetts. So that was a huge thing for
Dave's home state.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, just like thinking about that, him going from like used to be like a magazine or a newspaper company, and then just growing this company.
Right,
it's huge.
Right, and he said he's waited like 43 years for it to be legalized in Massachusetts. Ever since he started like 33 years ever since he started Barstool, he just couldn't wait for sports gambling to be legalized in Massachusetts. And last week. So that's going to be huge. I think all the other states are following. What is there? 30 some states that are legal gambling.
Yeah, and then we're only a few away.
Yeah. But so hopefully in South Dakota we'll be able to bet on FanDuel and DraftKings and like on games and stuff like that. But going on, we touched on NCAA. We got some NBA topics in. We got NFL. We touched a little bit on golf, some UFC, some boxing. But now let's jump into like some sports gambling, as Pat McAfee would say. And we'll go over some kind of like the NCAA kind of odds and who we would pick and everything like that. So Kyle has some odds pulled up, and then we'll kind of go over just the odds obviously, and then who we would pick and everything like that.
So back to my original upset. The Furman Paladins, only 5-point underdogs on Thursday morning.
5 point, really?
Yeah, very close. So makes me feel more confident about my pick. No money lines out yet, but just spreads.
Yeah, and that would probably move here before the game starts. But I mean,
how much does it move?
It depends on the money.
It depends, and if there's any injuries or like stuff like that. I mean,
anything more than 2 is kind of egregious, but it'll be around there.
Okay.
A lot of games everyone's going to talk about is Duke or Roberts. Duke is 6-point favorite. So it's going to be close.
I'm going Oral Roberts.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. They only give him a 6-point spread against Oral Roberts. I guess it is March Madness. They're predicting. I mean, there is a lot of upsets, but I mean, there's probably not a whole lot of money on the games right now, so these lines will change. But so Duke and Oral Roberts. So you have Oral Roberts beating Duke,
not in this specific one, but like I'm gonna do a few brackets. Yeah, I'll pick Oral Roberts for sure over Duke.
And I found
6 points.
Yeah,
found my favorite play. This will be my biggest bet of March Madness. It will be Texas A&M money line over Penn State Thursday night.
Okay. So everyone mark that down. Texas A&M.
Yep, Texas A&M 2.5-point favorites. I'm going to take their money line, but that's my go-to play.
So Texas A&M money line over
Penn State.
And you said that's on Thursday night?
That's Thursday night, 8:55 tip-off. So those are kind of the highlights on Thursday.
What? So there's no money line out on that one yet?
No, nothing on any of them. Another upset people like is VCU over St. Mary's. That spread is only 3.
Yeah, I like St. Mary's in that game, though.
I do too.
But VCU, in the past, they have been known to make a pretty deep run in the tournament when they do make it and everything like that. So they're always a team to be watching out for in the NCAA tournament. But I do like St. Mary's in that game.
Yep. And then one more notable line here, those first couple days, we have Kentucky and Providence. I don't know if you guys know a ton. Kentucky struggled at the beginning of the year.
They're young, yeah. I mean...
Providence's best player actually was playing at Kentucky and transferred because he didn't get to play. And now he leads Providence in scoring. So Bryce Hopkins.
Bryce Hopkins.
Yep. Providence +4. I like that.
Yep.
And then...
Yeah, Kentucky's young too. They don't have too much experience in... I mean, obviously Kentucky has experience in the NCAA tournament, but the people playing on the team right now don't really have that much experience, do they?
No. They have Oscar Sheboy. Big time, big boy. He's been in college basketball for 5 years. So,
I remember.
But their guards and wings, they're pretty much all freshmen. Mm-hmm. So they have CJ Frederick, their 3-point shooter, transfer from Iowa. He's got some experience. But
Iowa always has that one.
Same with the Wisconsin boys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of Iowa, I had Iowa beaten Auburn. Is Iowa good this year? I have no clue.
Yeah, they shoot a lot of threes. I mean, like live by the 3, die by the 3.
Yeah.
They are currently a 1-point underdog in that game against Auburn.
Okay.
So that'll be a close game. 8-9s are always tough to pick. 7-10s are hard to pick.
So tough. 8-9 is always like...
Statistically, right now, as I read earlier today, 9 seeds have the edge by 4 games in the last, I think it was 30 years. So it's always close.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to touch on one more thing. I know you guys weren't familiar with it. A lot of people probably aren't. It is called KenPom, basically an advanced analytics thing that studies college basketball teams all through the season. And there's been a trend since, I believe, it's 2002. The only teams that have won have been top 40 in offensive efficiency and top 25 in defensive efficiency. So those teams that can technically win it this year that fit that criteria are Houston, Kansas, Bama, UCLA, Purdue, Texas, UConn, St. Mary's, and Creighton.
Damn, Creighton's up there and UConn?
Yep.
I know UConn was good, but...
Yeah.
That's 9 teams. So statistically, over the last 20 years, you should pick one of those 9.
Well, perfect. There we go.
I thought the list would be smaller, but...
I mean, all those teams on there are at least top 5 in their region, if not top 3. You said Bama, UCLA.
Yep.
Did
Kansas,
Purdue on there?
Texas, Purdue. Yep.
Purdue's on there. So I mean, yeah, you got
St.
the
Mary's,
Houston,
as a 5 seed.
Yeah,
it's that criteria. So
yeah, and I like St. Mary. I don't know. I like St. Mary's in that VCU game.
That St. Mary's UConn game, second game, could be really good.
That'd be a
And the
fun
winner of
matchup
that
to
game
watch.
would hopefully get KU. So
Yeah, I mean, so
Yeah,
KU,
I got St. Mary's playing Kansas.
how fun would it be to see Kansas and Texas in the
I don't know
Final
if I
Four?
want to see them.
Right? I mean, third time is a charm. It's tough to beat a team 3 times in a
Yeah,
row.
Kansas beat them at home, so they're 1-2 against them. So
Right,
it'd be the
but-
4th meeting.
Right, and
in the
so
Final Four.
but the last 2 have gone to Texas, so it's
Yep,
always
and
tough to beat a team 3. Yeah,
Kansas didn't have Bill on Saturday, so I think he makes a huge difference. We were out of starter. They were out of starter. So
yeah,
I'm fine with just getting there is hard enough. So
right, exactly.
we'll let the teams play. I haven't picked nearly enough upsets.
I didn't pick really any upsets, to be
and
honest.
especially in a year where there's a ton of parity in college basketball. So
Right. I mean,
maybe you
and
have to do some adjusting here. But
and
it's
this
so
is-
hard on paper. You look and like, there's no way that team loses, and then they go out and lose by 20. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
We kind of mentioned earlier, like, I don't know, it was 2 podcasts ago. It was at Loyola. They had that huge run like 4 or 5 years ago.
Loyola,
Yeah,
Chicago,
4 or 5. Yeah, it'll be 5 years this year.
103-year-old sister
Jean.
Yeah,
Sister
she
Jean.
actually picked Duke to win it all this year.
Hell yeah, sister.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've seen double-digit Final Four teams.
Right.
We've seen everything. So
Yeah.
nothing's out of the water.
Yeah, and this is why it's so fun. March Madness is so fun because, hey, you could be that one person that picks that number 16 seed to upset that number 1, and you feel like a king on top of the world. Like, hey, I picked
100%.
that, baby. I'm the only one that ever picked that. So I mean, it's just the fun in it.
Yeah.
Usually we get some money on it and everything like that, so it just makes it more interesting and more.
And you follow it, like I
Close,
mentioned
yeah,
multiple times, you follow it more intensely when you do have, like, obviously a bracket filled out or
And
money
everyone's,
line.
I mean, even when we were in middle school, they would turn TVs on for us. So
Oh, yeah.
As it,
and everyone's at work. My girlfriend's mom actually won her bracket pool last year, so she's anxious to get back at it
Hell
again.
yeah, you go
So,
repeat
yep.
back to back.
Rock Chalk Repeat is my title of my bracket. So
Hell yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be a fun year. We're excited for March Madness to kick off. If you haven't already, join our TEW Confrontational.
Yeah, so you want to reiterate what the payouts or what the prize money is?
Yeah, so join our bracket challenge first of all. Second of all, Evan and I will be mostly Evan is going to be giving away his money to first and second place. Thing is, we set the bar at 50. So if we get 50 entries, it'll be at $200. But if we get up to 60 entries, every 10 entries that it goes up will increase the pot by $50. So 60, 250, 70 would be 300 even. And then if we do get up to those higher numbers, then we'll obviously, because right now we're paying out first and second, 150 to first, 50 to second. But as we increase that pot odd, we'll pay down to third.
how many entries per person?
We have it set at 1 right now,
Okay.
but just because you could
we
fill
could
out
get a bunch of people.
25 brackets if you wanted to, and pay $250, and then or not pay anything. But that's the thing, because you're not putting any skin on the game. We could have 1,000. If everyone
let's get. I'll get my ESPN app uploaded tonight.
And then
we'll fire it up.
You have till 9 or 10. You said on Thursday morning.
Yep. First game's 11:15 a.m. on Thursday.
Yeah,
Perfect.
so brackets just have to be submitted by that time. So playing games start on
Tuesday. In Dayton. We get to see Pittsburgh and Mississippi State should be a good game,
That's
as
gonna
well
be-
as Arizona State, Nevada.
Yeah, so that Mississippi State, we were talking about it before.
I have not checked the odds on those, but those should be close games as well.
We started talking about it before we got on the pod here, but that's going to be Pittsburgh has been playing well as of late, and then the winner of that game plays Iowa State.
Correct.
Which I think if Pitt wins that first game, goes and plays, Iowa State, could you see Pittsburgh beating Iowa State or vice versa, Mississippi State beating Iowa State? Or
I can. The only thing, I've watched a lot of Iowa State basketball. They're very, very good at defense. So they're going to hold you to 55, 60 points. It's just a matter if you can outscore them.
Yeah.
So very good defensive, but I don't know. I think Pitt has the guards to do it. So Pitt's my pick to actually beat Iowa State in that game.
So you have Pitt coming out of the playing game, going up against Iowa State, and then beating Iowa State in the round of 64 to move on.
And then that other one, I like Arizona State to beat Nevada.
Heck yeah. Yeah, so action kicks off on Tuesday. which is always fun. I mean, those games don't necessarily count towards the bracket, but I mean, like if you have Pitt making it past Iowa State, obviously
those games some big time points.
Those games could matter. So, but yeah, so round of 64, the very first round kicks off on Thursday, like we said, at 11:15. So have your brackets entered in by then. Otherwise, just enjoy the madness. This is probably one of my favorite times of the year.
Absolutely.
St. Patty's Day on Saturday, so you're gonna get a little taste of that. Get some madness in the meantime.
Right?
Hell yeah.
Have a little green beer, watch some basketball.
Nothing better.
Yeah. It's kind of the kickoff to the warmer weather, spring, summer.
Hopefully, Kyle was mentioning, it's supposed to be actually cold as shit, but
it's supposed to
just make the most of it, I guess.
Yep. Stay in the bar. Just warm up with that Irish whiskey and
get the bets fired off and have yourself a day.
Yeah, but I don't have a whole lot of other stuff. What do you got, Evan?
I don't got much to touch on. That's all I got for now.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on.
Let's have a week.
Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure having you on. Thanks for hitting us up and sharing your knowledge with NCAA. I mean, if anybody else wants to come in on the pod, I mean, we'll have the winners of the bracket challenge, but that's not going to be for another 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, we might have to once the madness is over, have Kyle on again and kind of go over it again.
Shit, he might be the winner of the bracket challenge. Who knows? So
exactly.
We might have to have him back on. But no, you're always welcome to come back on. We love picking your brain, getting your knowledge, especially during this time of the year when you're a huge Jayhawks fan, huge college basketball fan in general.
A lot of knowledge.
I feel like you're gonna be giving us a lot of information and hopefully making us some money too on the gambling side of things.
Get a couple parlays cash this Thursday, Friday. So
hell yeah, it's gonna be fun. So we're excited for the weekend to kick off. But yeah, we don't have a whole lot of anything else. So this will be coming out before the games start, hopefully on Monday or Tuesday. We'll get this uploaded so you can kind of get our picks and our knowledge on who we have going far, who we don't, who upsets, all that good stuff. So tune in. Thanks for tuning in to this episode. We have another episode dropping after this on Wednesday as well, just a normal time.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys have said it, but TEW Confrontational presented by Bud Light.
Light.
We got all of them. We got all the Bud Lights here in the family. So Thanks again for tuning in to TEW Confrontational. My name is Ty Warkenthien. This is Evan Warkenthien and our special guest. And thanks again for coming on, man.
Yeah, appreciate
you guys, Lyons. So
thank you.
Thanks again, everybody. Until next time.
Peace.